Salute, Nick family. Welcome to the Queen's Court. I'm your host, Stephanie, aka Queen. Man, I'm on location. Technical difficulties. So sorry for being late. No slides tonight. Just me, Ajay, and Chris letting you know what it is, getting our opinion. I think I could see. Yes, I could see. I could see comments. So today we're going to talk about Randle's injury right up front, what that means for the Knicks, who is a possible replacement. You know, unless I'm not sure if the news has dropped already in terms of who's starting for Randle tonight. We'll talk about the upcoming game against Charlotte. We'll go over lineups and things like that, and then we'll talk about the week's worth of games that we have. I think we have 3 games this week, and then we out of here, and we're gonna do it all in 1 hour. Appreciate you guys for checking in and rocking with us tonight. Ajay, Chris, how y'all doing?
I'm good.
I'm good, Queen. Always a pleasure to be here. Always a pleasure to hang out with you. And Chris, how you doing? Always a pleasure to be on NBK and always a pleasure to talk about the Knicks. So we're about to get ready to have fun. Oh, everything compressed in an hour, so it's going to be a blast.
Everything compressed in an hour. Julius Caesar, JJ. I saw Sean Ramos, I am Jarrell, and everybody else who's rocking Mega always. Wonder Woman. I appreciate you all. And if I missed anybody, so sorry. So let's start off with the Julius Randle injury. He injured, he basically dislocated his shoulder, being very aggressive as he usually is against Miami. Great win, by the way. And, he had the x-rays didn't show any or much damage. He had an MRI, also didn't show any or much damage. And apparently he's out weeks as opposed to months. So the Knicks, we're going to have to hold it down. I don't know if that's 1 week. I don't know if that's 3 weeks. The Knicks are going to have to hold it down until Julius Randle comes back. I know Ajay always talk about the Knicks getting hurt versus Miami.
Miami.
It is what it is. Your thoughts on that injury and how the Knicks how much do you think is going to impact us, and how can we stay afloat during that time?
Chris, you want Chris first or?
It don't matter.
That ladies first. Go ahead, Chris.
This is very telling of who we are with this injury. Like, are we gonna step up? Because I know, we always had this next man up. So definitely, I see that Precious is gonna be starting. So we definitely see him in that starting role. I was doing a little research on him. I mean, he was decent. When he did start, I think he was averaging like maybe 14 or something like that. But not consistently. So it definitely shows where we are, and if people are going to step up and assume roles that they probably weren't asked to do, but to do. So I'm really looking forward to seeing how he worked in the system. This also is going to give Sims an opportunity to show us something. You know what I'm saying? Show us more than what he's been doing. So I just feel like this is an opportunity for people that want an opportunity, that feel that they can contribute to the team, to contribute, to show us what you got. If not, then I think for the next couple of weeks that he's out, we might need to go and add a body or something. I don't know. So it's definitely going to see.
Knowing what you know about this team, and we know a little bit about Precious, you're right. We don't know a whole lot about him. Do you think you think we'll be under or over 500 in the time that Randle is out?
I think it's going to be split. I think it's split. I can't really say over or under because, like I said, he showed. So in the beginning, I think we talked about this. We were a little nervous because he was, he looked like he was scared of the ball. He never played before or something. I don't know what it was. But when he first came, he was terrible. And I think people was like, yo, we need to get rid of him. We need to trade him. Why do we select him? But he showed in the last couple of games, he shows flashes that he can definitely contribute to the team. Now, in a starting role, can he contribute? I don't know. I mean, I'm not 100% on if he can or not. Like, I mean, he plays.
We shall see.
He plays good good with the second unit. So now it's time to play with the big boys. So let's see how he do with them.
Yeah, great points. Great points, Ajay.
Well, so the injury, it's unfortunate, but and it unfortunately, as always, happened with Miami. Somebody always goes down when we play Miami. All right. But it didn't look like that guy did it on purpose. Like it looked like a regular basketball play. It happens. And Chris, it's official that Precious is starting?
Yeah, I just looked up the lineup and it said Precious.
Okay. And Queen, what did I tell you I wanted?
Yeah,
That's exactly what I said. I told
that's
Queen
what I wanted too.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
it really makes basketball sense. I mean, not that the other way around didn't make sense, but it makes basketball sense to have Precious. One of the things when this trade first happened, and I thought everybody was focused on OG, which was great, definitely, but in one trade we got everything we were looking for. Because remember, we was always looking for a backup power forward.
Yeah,
Precious
yeah.
Achiuwa is a power forward. He could play the 5, but he
Right.
really is a 4.
Right.
So this is his opportunity to be a backup for Julius Randle. I think he's gonna do just fine. Listen, just like every other player, he's gonna have some good games, gonna have some bad games. But overall, he's not a slouch. He can play. Precious Achiuwa
Right.
can play, and he's gonna come in and he's gonna do his job. He's gonna do what he's got to do. The Knicks are gonna be fine.
Yeah, I looked
Yeah,
him
yeah.
up.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Chris.
No, I looked him up. He played for Memphis. He was an All-Star, McDonald's All-Star. So he got some game. I mean, all of that doesn't really translate to the NBA, but he does have some game. So I'm very much interested in seeing how that's gonna go.
Chris, sometimes it's about opportunity. Maybe
That's
he
what
hasn't had the opportunity to show what he's got. So let's see. I mean, this is a great opportunity for him to have a career.
Yeah.
Or this could determine what his career is going to be, believe it or not.
Yeah.
So it's a great opportunity for him.
What's your expectations of him? Now, we've seen in the last 3-4 games that he's a really good rebounder, right? And he really surprised me after the Toronto game. I wasn't impressed with the Toronto game, even though that was his first double-double, because you always get up to play the team that traded you. But since then, he's actually been pretty steady since that game. So maybe that was his get-right game. What's your expectations of him beyond defense? Ajay, we'll start with you and then Chris.
Well, let's not forget Miami also traded him. Maybe you shouldn't count that either because he was drafted by Miami. So, he's not a terrible defender. He needs to be in the right place. Okay, that's his challenge because in the beginning, the first couple of games, he was getting acquainted to the team, and it's normal. Everybody does that. OG Anunoby is different. Like he's a natural defender. And sometimes he wasn't in the right place, but he made the right play anyway. Like you always mention, Queen, he could be guarding this guy, and then somehow he's checking the other guy too. Like he's guarding like 2 people at the same time. So he's done that. Not everybody can do that. But if Precious could manage to be in the right place, he's gonna make the right play. He's gonna get used. He's got to get used to it. All right. But on offense, he can score. He can shoot from the mid range and from 3-point. I don't know what his 3-point stats are, but he can knock it down from 3. Listen, he's not gonna take 8 threes a game.
Right.
But if shot clock's winding down and he's got to take a shot, he could take it. He has a good chance of hitting it. You know what I'm saying? So I expect double from him.
Wow.
Yes, he's got to he's got to crash the boards. Like he's gonna be in there to grab the rebounds, and I expect him to be able to score at least 10 points a game.
But how do you see the 10 points coming off of putbacks and driving and kicking to him underneath the basket, or do you see him like initiating a move in the post or hitting a 3? Where do you see his points coming from?
No, he's just putbacks. He's just gonna be he's
Okay.
gonna be the guy cleaning it up.
Okay.
Off of cleanups, he should be. I'm hoping he can do that because he's capable of doing it. So if they put him in position to do it, I'm pretty sure he can deliver. And if his hands could grab the ball because he's slippery, man. He's still. This is to me. This is probably because he's not used to the team, and listen, it's crunch time right now. He's got a couple of games to get to get used to it and make things happen. So, like I said, his job in there is to crash the boards. If he gives us 10 points, that's a bonus, and I expect him to do that.
What about the Knicks themselves? You see us under or over 500? Remember, a lot of our games now will be at home, and I think that'll help. But you see us under or over?
We'd have to look at it team by team, to see who we play. You know, some teams, big body. It depends. It depends on the team we play. Like if we have time today, I know it's a short show, it's a 1 hour show. So if we have time, we could look at the next 10 games, the next 12 or up until the All-Star breaking. We could probably have a pretty good idea of where we're going to be.
Right.
But I don't I was going to say, I don't expect this to be like terribly worse than we were. So I think we're gonna keep rolling.
All right, let's go through it quick. Tonight, win, loss.
Tonight's a win.
All right, Utah at home.
That's gonna be a tough one.
That's gonna be a tough one because their best players are two big bodies up there.
All right, loss. Pacers.
I think we could win that one because they play small. They play fast, but they play small. So we should be able to win that one.
I think it's Kyrie's plays because he brings another dimension to it. If we have figured out how to play without Randle, that's going to be a tough game for us.
The Lakers is a toss-up. Memphis, we should be able to win.
Yeah.
Dallas.
Dallas is be tough.
That's a toss-up. Let's just count wins. If it's either a loss or a toss-up, we just count in wins. What we think it definitely be wins. So far, we got Charlotte as a definite win. Memphis as a definite win. We play the Pacers again.
One of the Pacers will be a win. So that's
all right. So we got that. Then
Houston,
we play the Rockets.
Houston should be a win.
Magic.
That's another toss-up.
Yeah.
So far we got like 4 and 6 because
4 and 6. Utah
we not sure. Pacers, one of them. The Lakers toss up. The Mavericks toss up. Magic toss up. So far that's 4 and 5. And then after the Magic, it's it's the All-Star break.
It's the All-Star break. Then Philly.
And I think he'll be back for the Philly Celtics after the All-Star break. I think that's my hope. That's my hope. We don't know. But my hope is he'll be back after the All-Star break. So we might be anywhere from 4 and 6 to 5 and 6.
Or 5 and 5. Yeah. And that's not bad. Listen, and Chris, I know you're talking real quick, Queen. I know you. We're thinking of it in terms of making up Julius's 24, 10 and 5 this season,
something like that. Yep.
As the OG Anunoby trade taught us, that means nothing. Because remember, we traded 18 RJ Barrett points and 12 Emmanuel Quickly points, right? OG Anunoby doesn't bring 30 points,
right?
But we win it,
right.
Okay. So other guys gonna have to step up. DiVincenzo's gonna have to step up. Quentin Grimes gonna have to be sharp. And these guys, listen, when Thibodeau tells you he trusts those guys, he really does. Right. He really feels that they can, bring it up a notch and fill in the void when we have a guy like Julius Randle that's out.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So
I'm not saying that they can fill it in. I'm just saying that, they need to come to play. That's it.
Yeah, they need to come to play. Because see, we're looking at Julius Randle 24 points, 10 rebounds, and 5 assists, right? But look at Julius Randle's not the greatest defender. So when you factor in the points he's given up on defense, it's less points you have to make up. Hey, Queen, the last couple of games, what's the first thing I text to you when we watching those games?
Yeah, he said Tibbs took Randle out and sitting him on the bench because he's not playing defense. I don't know if that was the reason, but
he wasn't playing defense. I mean, he was lit. Watch Randle during the game. Go back, watch the game, and just look at Randle, what he's doing. It's like he's not defending at all. Sometimes he's good. Sometimes when he
play it in the flow of the game, but when have you known Randle to really play defense?
Yeah, when his head's in, when he's wants to play defense. He's a very good defender.
Yeah.
But when he's not up, when he don't feel like it, he just doesn't.
The consistency. For those who are just getting here, I don't really have control. I'm on location, so that's why there's no slides tonight, and I'm unable to put up your comments. But I do want to read a few. Julius Caesar, 500 is a huge win without Randle. JJ, I'll take around 500. E. Gibson, I think 6 out of 10 is real. If we can get 6 out of 10, that would be great. Mega NYK, show support for MBK, Dope Soul Sports and Knicks Talk. Hit the like button, comment, share, and subscribe. Appreciate you, Mega. Dwayne Dennis, hopefully look forward to OG Anunoby and Precious Achiuwa to be aggressive from the start. And you know what? That's a good point. Appreciate you, Dwayne Dennis. Sometimes a player has more than they're given because that's just not their role right now, right? You think about Mikal Bridges when he was in Phoenix. Shout out Delusional. You think about Mikal Bridges when he was in Phoenix. Look what he's doing in Brooklyn, in terms of his off the dribble game. He had that in Phoenix, but that wasn't his role. You know what I mean? He was the third best player. He had to play his role, and the offense was really geared toward the other two players. So with Randle down, if OG and Achiuwa have more in their game, this is an opportunity for them. This is an opportunity for them to show it. How are you, Delusional?
I'm good. I had to run off the train, was watching the show, leaving work. So I'm like, yeah, let me get on real quick before the game. So
I appreciate you. What's your thought on the Knicks injury, Randle's injury, and the Knicks' ability to recover and stay afloat during that time?
I mean, the injury came at a bad time. We were rolling, definitely taking the lead by storm, pushing, actually fighting to get that third spot because Sixers was actually starting to play bad with Embiid being out. So we could have pushed and kind of moved forward. So that was devastating. But like Tibbs said, this is another man up. This is opportunity for us to, like Ajay said, to see what we could get out of Precious. More minutes for Grimes, more minutes for Hart. So, everyone else could kind of step up. So one thing that we won't lack, though, is defense, honestly.
Right.
So, like the hustle plays, we still argue with Julius, him running around, not playing that effort on that defense and leaving assignments wide open on the three. I don't think we're going to have that issue, but it's still a lot to cover with the demand that he does have, the double team. So now Brunson is going to get blitz. Somebody else has to step up now. So, that's where I might have I think it's going to be an issue with that because once they start trapping Brunson, who else is going to step up? Who else is going to command and take over the offense? We've seen that OG occasionally stepping with the mid-range game now and he's getting his spots of attacking. But who else? What is Precious going to do? Can he, face up and, demand a post game or a back-to-basket game? We know he can shoot the occasional three when he's open, but he's going to have to step up and do more. So we'll see what Tibbs kind of draw up with the Charlotte game. That will determine, the rest of the games.
I mean, he can draw up whatever he draw up. If we don't have the players that can, that can execute, and you bring up a very good point in the sense that it's not just Randle's points and his rebounds and whatever. It's how he changes the game for us. He has a lot of gravity. They double team. So if they double team and then you swing the ball, somebody should get a good look. We might be in a situation now where we're not in any. I don't see him, Tone. We might be in a situation where we don't get a lot of good looks.
Look at that.
All right. Yeah. All right. So like I said, I don't have controls, but Tony Crow coming through. We're going to go through this real quick. Last week we were 26-17. We're 29-17. That means we went 3-0 since the last show. That's what I'm talking about. The role that we've been on. We're fourth in the Eastern Conference. We've won 6 straight. Our offensive rating overall is 8th. Our defensive rating is 7th, and our net rating is 5th. But these past 3 games, we're first in offensive rating, 3rd in defensive rating, and 1st in net rating. The difference between our offense and defense. That's what you talk when you talk about a roll, not a bagel. We are on a roll. Next slide, Tone. All right. We beat Brooklyn, Denver, and Miami. And these were, say what you want to say about Denver, how they was coming off the end of a road trip. So what? Not only did we beat them handily, and we beat them from start to finish. 122-84. Anunoby with 26 points. Randle had 8 rebounds. Miami, all of us was looking forward to this game. I'm looking forward to Miami, Brooklyn, all of these Eastern Conference teams to see how we match up now with OG, and we put it on them. 125-109. Brunson with 32. Achiuwa with 10 rebounds. And we shot well. I'm thinking this might be a mistake, but I did double check. We shot 51.7% from the field, 51.5% from the three-point line, just 69.2% from the free throw line, though the Knicks have really been shooting the ball, their free throws much better since the trade. Brooklyn pretty much gave us the most trouble, and we beat them, 108-103. We won. Brunson and Randle both with 30, Achiuwa and Randle with 9. Next slide, Tom.
Queen, while we go into the next slide, just a quick reminder that we beat Denver without Mitch and without Hartenstein. So all the, the end of the road trip or whatever, we didn't have our 2 centers to make up for that. So
yeah, but it would have only been 1 anyway. Like Mitch, it is. Yeah, Mitch has been out. But anyway, I get your point. All right. So this is just what we've been doing. We're moving on to Charlotte, who we played tonight. We've played them 3 times already. And we beat them. I don't know what's going on with these doors. Can you guys hear? It's real noisy. You guys can hear it or not so much?
Yeah, we can hear it.
Oh boy, sorry. We played them November 12th. We beat them 129-107. November 18th, 122-108. November 28th, 115-91. Now I got that off NBA.com. Did we really play them 3 times already? My goodness. That's what they said. That's what they said. We're outscoring now. They traded Terry Rozier. So we'll get to the starting lineup, but there's been some changes there. We've outscored them 115-108. We've out-rebounded them 46.2-41.1. The assists are pretty even. They up by 1 in the 3 matchups. We have more steals than them in the 3 matchups. They have a bit more blocks. Turnovers, about the same, 12.8, 13.2. We're shooting, 1 point better, 46.9-45.9. But this is pre-OG, right? 3-point percentage, 37.5-36. And the free throw, 78-79. It seems more evenly matched here than in the actual games itself, right? The Knicks are 3-0. Next slide, Tom. And then we'll discuss it. Oh, I didn't change it. Next slide. I didn't change it. All right, you could put us back to you could put it, yeah. What is this? Now there's music playing in the background. Anyway,
partying.
Yeah. Talk to me about our matchup with Charlotte tonight. So the last game they started LaMelo Ball, Brandon Miller, Caleb Martin, was that the Miles Bridges and Nick Richards, who's been playing well for them with Mark Williams out. Talk to me a little bit about the matchup tonight. And
that's the same starting lineup I have right now for tonight.
What's your thoughts on the game? We'll start with Delusional, Chris, and then add.
Okay.
I think this should be a smooth victory. Since they have LaMelo out. LaMelo is pretty much the head of the snake of that team. He's the ones that give them the buckets, assists, kind of set everybody else. Miller plays pretty good. It's very explosive. But I think we kind of shut him down if we put OG on him, because I don't really see the only issue for me with this Charlotte game is their bigs. Their bigs know how to stretch the floor. And then of course we have to deal with It's the dude that had the case,
Bridges.
the abusive case. What's his name?
Bridges.
Bridges. Yes. So
Oh.
I might have to put OG on him. So I think we're covered. I truly think this is going to be a blowout game. It depends on who they put on Brunson. You know, if they're going to put a bigger body on Brunson to kind of trap and get the ball out of his hands. Hopefully Tibbs very early will let Dante bring the ball up and draw some dope plays. But I think Knicks kind of blow him out.
What do you say, Chris?
Yeah, I feel like this is a winnable game tonight. I think for the most part, we're gonna bring the energy. Just because I feel like Precious is gonna be excited that he's starting. There's gonna be more opportunities because definitely one thing I've learned when Randle is not in the game, they do a lot of more pick and rolls and like alley oops to the basket for Hartenstein and whoever else is on their team. So I feel like there's going to be some opportunities for Hartenstein and Precious to actually score today. Back cuts and things of like that nature because, that's what they do when they push the ball. So I think it's going to be a really exciting game. I mean, just like I said, this is an opportunity to really show what you have. So hopefully everybody takes advantage of it.
Somebody just said OG is out. Is that true?
OG's out. Yep. I'm looking at the Knicks PR
my.
page. He is out.
Why?
Did they say why?
Right elbow inflammation.
Yeah, remember he had that wrap on his elbow? He had ice.
He had the wrap since he got here. I'm like, what's going on with that elbow?
So is Josh Hart and Achiuwa starting?
I don't know. I didn't see the starting lineup now. It's gonna have to be, yeah.
Yeah. Jarrell, the Knicks say OG Anunoby right elbow inflammation is out tonight at Charlotte. And iHeart is back, but we don't know how healthy he is, though.
Well, in any case, this is a good game for those guys to be out. It's a good get right game, I guess. And I don't, Charlotte is obviously an inferior team. We're better than them, and even it's just gonna make it a bit more challenging to beat them. But I think we should still be able to beat them. So listen, LaMelo Ball's out, so they really
LaMelo Ball is out.
Yeah, he's out.
Okay, because I was about to say, Ajay, come on, yeah, we a better team, but you take away 2 starters, you start coming down to their level. You know what I mean?
But their best players out.
Yeah, I didn't know. That was before I knew LaMelo Ball is out.
Well, so, I don't know though. With OG out, that might change my pick now.
That changes our defense as well. I think it's going to be a dogfight tonight.
Yeah, it's going to be a dogfight.
It's not going to be an easy win, but nevertheless, a win.
Yeah.
Queen, I always think we're gonna win all the games anyway. So.
Yeah. This is installation. Frank is out.
Who? Frank is out. Frank Ntilikina is out tonight too.
That's my guy. I'm still part of the Frank hive though.
Right. Any concern about and Delusional alluded to this earlier, the pressure this puts on Brunson with Randle out, period. But particularly tonight now without OG, because where are we getting our scoring from? Remember, we were already shorthanded without, since the trade. In my opinion, I felt like we were somewhat shorthanded. Where do you think the scoring is going to come from tonight?
And that's what I was saying. Like if they, if everybody show up, because if I was the coach, I would try to get the ball out of Brunson's hand as much as possible and make other people beat me. So will those people show up? That's going to be the thing. Right. Because done it before, you know what I'm saying? When Randle was with his ankle, they was taking the ball out of Brunson's hand. They was double teaming him, sometimes triple teaming him, forcing other people to score. Luckily, we're hitting our shot. So I think it's going to be a collective thing. It has to be a collective. It can't be just one person.
Okay, but who's stepping up? If you had who is the most likely person to help Brunson out tonight?
DiVincenzo.
Okay.
He can score. I mean, he's
Yeah,
shown us
yeah.
this guy.
Mhm,
He
mhm.
could give you over 20 points. You know, he's just got to be aggressive and get it going. And the bench players. So Quinn Grimes and Deuce McBride, they're just going to have to be 1 point tonight. You know,
Yeah.
they could step up as well because we've seen him do it.
Yeah.
I mean,
Kieran Clark, I hope I got your name right, said grime time.
yeah,
That-
there you
he
go.
needs-
See?
Grime,
Huh?
Deuce. I mean, these guys, they can score.
But to Delusional's point, scoring when somebody is drawing attention or somebody is drawing a defense and they're kicking it out to you is very different than scoring against a set defense like that. You know, now that you don't have the space. Hi, sweetie, I'm on my show right now. I'll be right with you. You don't have the space that you usually have when you're taking the shot. You know, maybe they're a foot closer, if not more, and you have to
You do.
create off the dribble.
You do. You have Brunson and so DiVincenzo start hitting the first couple of shots. He's going to draw attention. You know, Brunson's going to draw attention to start the game. So these guys are going to be open. Hi.
All right, sweetie.
Hello.
All right.
Oh, she can't hear us.
They said hi. Okay. All right. I'll see you soon. All right. All right. Sorry. Go ahead, Ajay.
No, I was going to say we do have a guy who commands a lot of attention. His name's Jalen Brunson. So he's just going to have to find a way and get the ball to those guys to get them in their scoring groove.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
It ain't gonna be easy, but it's not impossible. He could do. It's doable. It's
yeah,
not.
yeah.
Well, I think that we need to rely a lot on Hartenstein passing. You know, a lot of screens, a lot of cuts at the top. Hopefully, he can drop some back cuts down there. JB obviously needs to drop another 35 tonight, but he also needs to have 10 assists. I think if he does that, then we're solid. I think so.
So it's gonna be 40 piece tonight, baby.
Yeah, probably a 40 piece.
40 something.
It's probably a 40 piece tonight. Because I don't think Charlotte is one of the tops in the defense. So I don't think that's something that we have to worry about us not getting buckets. It's really just us getting key stops, key moments, and finish our food. So
yeah.
It's time to eat. It's time for them to eat. It's time for them to show up.
Listen, I of course, throughout the day you're listening to all the podcasts, all the Knicks shows. Everybody's like, "Well, it's all hands on deck now." Well, it's always been all hands on deck. You guys been watching Thibodeau like his entire career? Every regular season game is all hands on deck, no matter how important the game is, or that's always been the case. So nothing's different, man. When Tibbs tell you he trusts his guys, he really does trust them. He really trusts that Jericho Sims is gonna come in here, give him some good minutes. The only thing that could be a problem is if somebody gets in foul trouble early. If we don't get foul trouble, if we don't have any of that stuff going on, listen, we're gonna be just fine.
Yeah.
Especially tonight. Tonight is a good game to get right. To get used to the Julius Randle not being here.
Oh, you muted, Queen.
Yeah.
And peace, family.
Salute, Tony. Appreciate you in the background.
He's
a little Willy Wonka in the chocolate factory thing back there.
The man in the control. The man in the control booth.
Right.
Appreciate you.
I was getting my sim on.
Okay. Your thoughts on the injury and
just
the ability to hold it down until he gets back.
You're referring to Randle, right?
Yes, Randle's injury. That's
the new news.
Yes.
Okay. Pardon me. I'm sorry. Give me 1 second. Get back to me.
Okay. All right. You guys were talking about the matchups tonight, correct? When I went out. All right. What was the last thing that was said? Just somebody give me a synopsis. I had to turn off the Paw Patrol game, all of the noise from that.
No, we were saying we're pretty much chiming on where's the scoring going to be coming from.
Yes. Okay.
Before you went out. So
Okay.
yeah.
And that Brunson should be able to create shots for
Exactly.
people. But the thing about it is those non-Brunson minutes haven't been great for us. When he's out, there's just a lot of responsibility. He already had a lot of responsibility. Now it's even more responsibility.
Not in the last few games. In the last few games, those non-Brunson minutes have been fine. The bench has been, them kids.
They brought us in a game.
Yeah.
In Miami, they did well in the first half, but in the second half, we already had the lead. So it's been a bit up and down, but I agree with you. Overall, the past few games, the bench has looked better. Yeah, they have. But to me, in the non-Brunson minutes, anyway, yeah, Tom.
Yeah, I'm back. Randle's injury, I've been trying to take the most positive outlook of it, and just the fact that this team has been dealing with adversity all year. Technically, since Tibbs has been the coach, that next man up approach has been the philosophy anyway, and we tend to do well, when we got to have somebody step up. So my biggest concern was the longevity of it. We did get some positive news, not that it's definitive, but it definitely makes the outlook a little bit better. Knowing that he should be back rather than losing him for long term. My only thing would be, I would still encourage them to take their time. You know what I mean? Like, do not rush him back by any means. So I mean, even if it ends up being 2 months, but we get him for the playoffs, I rather that than him re-injuring himself, which is a possibility regardless of what, because from what I've heard, those dislocated shoulders, they reoccur if they're not if you don't take your time with the initial healing, and so that, I mean, that's my biggest concern. But definitely happy we got the good news that it shouldn't be months.
I agree with you. And Julius Season made a good point here. He said, I'm taking it easy on JB while Randle is out. Yes. Thank you, Tom. The new emphasis should not be on the best regular season success, but now on getting and keeping everyone healthy for the playoffs. I agree. I think I've seen enough of this team that if we're healthy, we can go on a run, if we're healthy. And I get it. On paper, we may not be the best team on paper, but Miami got hot. A few years ago, Atlanta got hot. This team can get hot, and I think they have a puncher's chance. And I'm okay if we go into the playoffs at 6 instead of 4, and everybody is healthy. I still like our chances. I just would like the team to get back together with like 20 games to go, so that we could kind of reestablish that chemistry. But I agree with you, Tone. And just Randle being healthy is important.
I read a tweet or someone in the chat. I forgot where I read it, but they said if we finish 500, if we play 500 for the rest of the season, we end up with 47 wins. So okay. I mean, looking at that, I think we'll be above 500, but worst case scenario, 547 wins and everybody's healthy, I could definitely live with that.
Yeah. Your thoughts on who's going to step up tonight? OG is out and Randle is out. Where do you think the scoring comes from if you had to pick a few players?
The Villanova boys.
Okay.
The Villanova boys, they're going to take it back to the college roots and have one of those performances. I mean,
yeah. I definitely think Devo will step up. Hart will try to step up. I just don't see his game as a scoring type of game. Like, that's just not his game. But in terms of rebounding and pushing the ball and getting points in transition, I think he is. One thing we never have to worry about with our team is coming out aggressive, assertive, with that dog mentality. We never have to worry about that. You know, they're going to play hard from beginning to end. And somebody, one or two players, is going to step up for us. And I'm with Chris, like she said in the beginning. I do want to see what Precious Achiuwa has. You know, a few seasons ago, or was it even last season, Miami was so hurt throughout the season. They was just, but the good thing was their bench got pressed into duty because they didn't really have a bench, at least on paper anyway. But that bench got pressed into duty throughout the season. And by the time the playoffs came, they were battle tested, right? They had played in some high leverage in-season games. So, you know, Achiuwa will get that opportunity, and let's see if that helps, because he's trending up. But when he first got here, I was like, yeah, come on. You know, but he's trending up, and maybe starting and getting his feet wet, you know, maybe he turns into a really strong piece of our bench.
Turns into like a Bobby Portis, maybe.
Ooh.
Being like that, like what he gives to Milwaukee when he comes off, that energy, those points, those threes, that toughness. Like we could use that off the bench.
We talking Achiuwa, right?
Achiuwa.
Yeah.
Yeah, like getting his feet wet, and then when Randle comes back and he moves to the bench, just being a stronger bench player for us from having this starting experience.
You don't think so, Tom?
No, I agree 100%. I'm very high on Achiuwa. Even with his slow start coming in, I knew it was gonna take time. But my hope was he'd be a part of our long-term plan.
Yep.
And not be somebody we necessarily are flipping. I mean, obviously, if we're flipping him for a better guy, no complaints. But I like his energy. I feel like he's just a Tibbs type of player anyway.
Yeah, he's a good
and Tibbs could kind of mold him. He's still young enough to get molded into, you know what I mean, who Tibbs would want him to be.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, he'll be a restricted free agent if I'm correct. And then the Knicks have to make a decision on him, Hartenstein. I think just those two.
OG.
If I'm not OG. Oh yeah, OG. So sometimes there's cap casualties in the sense that you really want a guy, but you know you're trying to also maintain flexibility. So who knows?
Yeah.
What's gonna
And
happen.
I heart's a priority.
They have
You know what? I think so, but I don't know what the Knicks are thinking.
That's a good point.
But I think I
I think so.
rights for OG, and he's not gonna go towards the cap. I'm not sure, but I think I read something like that.
He's not going to go to what the cap?
I think I read something like that. I don't know. I will have to look at it again, but I know that they have the bird rights to him. So
Right. Well, they can go over. They They can go over to sign him for sure, and then they can go over to extend Randle if they want to pay Randle the max. If they want to play Brunson the max, they'll be able to do that. The question is, once you hit that second tier, you're pretty much locked. It's hard to make moves. And if you have a championship contending team, I think that's fine. But if you don't, it's really hard to make moves. And the Knicks front office is smart. They were aware of that. Any particular matchup, but LaMelo Ball is out, Randall is out, OG is out. I don't know if there's any matchups. We just have to figure out a way to get a win. You know,
Well, it's
Miles
whoever
Bridges.
Tibbs put on Bridges, honestly. That is a matchup because he's going to get his numbers. He's aggressive, so it depends on the scheme Tibbs put on Bridges. Honestly, that's truly the matchup.
Yeah, that's true. It'll probably be well. He might go with Josh Hart too.
Yeah,
you know,
Precious and Josh Hart. It'd be a combination.
We on the road too, right?
Yes, we're on the road.
We're on the road.
Yeah, and you know, Josh Hart is smaller, but he's played a little for. He's going to be undersized against Bridges. As strong as he is, he's going to be undersized against him. And Brandon Miller, thank you, JJ. Brandon Miller now, who's, he was starting at the 2, with Rozier gone. It was LaMelo and Brandon Miller at 1, 2. He's kind of tall playing the 2 position for DiVincenzo, so it's going to be interesting. It's going to be interesting. All right. Anything else on Charlotte? What are you looking to see other than a win?
Number one,
I know Delusional said how we play Bridges. Mm-hmm.
For me, it's just get off to a fast start. You know what I mean? In a lot of the games that we did lose this year, I think that's been one of our biggest Achilles heels. It's just not starting the game off well, and then it's a uphill battle all game long. Obviously, we do tend to fight back, but I if it's not an uphill battle, even if it's close early, I like our chances pulling away late. But if we start off sluggish, and it's the uphill battle all game, then it could go either way.
Yeah. Anybody else?
I want to see. Oh, go ahead, Chris. Good.
Energy. I'm looking for them to come out like, Randle, is there. Like, just play like, you've always been playing, but with a little more energy. That's it. I just want to see a good game. I don't want to see too many lapses and like too many turnovers because, we tend to get into that. But just come out and just play your game. Don't play, outside of it. Play in your game and in control. Like, no, turnovers, fouls, and things of that nature. Just play your game.
Yeah. Stafford has the starters for us: Jalen, DiVincenzo, Josh Hart, Precious, and Hartenstein. I don't even know if Hartenstein is 100%. He played limited minutes. The last game versus Miami. From what I understand, this injury, tendinopathy, whatever it is more of a chronic type issue.
Yeah, that's what he started last year with the slow start.
So you got to manage it. And so having him come in and, overplay, if they brought him back too soon, if they, you know what I mean, it could be a disaster as well. So you got to watch his minutes also.
And it took him about half the season to get right last year. You know what I mean? Like we was wondering like, oh, like what's going on with this dude? We thought he was going to bring more. Right. And we didn't really see it until the second half of the year.
Absolutely.
Last year. So hopefully he could get that situated, limit his minutes as much as we can. I know it's tough with bigs out, but
but Tony, this is a good game to sit him though, like or play him like very little minutes. Give Jericho Sims a ton of minutes. Him, Precious, Achiuwa. This is a good game to rest him. I would.
So in other words, the win is not as important as us just coming out of here healthy.
The win.
We want the win. We want the win, but I'm saying this. You have Queen. You have.
When you say this is a good game to sit on because
the opponent, who the opponent is, you still have a good chance of beating that team with those guys sitting.
That is not a Tibbs philosophy. What I mean?
No, Tony. Yeah, we said that at the beginning of the show. Like every game. Is vital for Tom, no matter how important or how.
And he said it in the last post game. You can't overlook anyone. When you overlook your opponent, that's when you lose. You know what I mean? So you got to treat every game as this. You know what I mean? What do you always say? You got to be good to make it in the league. All these players are good. You know what I mean? Like so he respects guys who actually play hurt, whether that's a good thing or not, but he always talks about that,
right.
So
and Tony, by that same logic, if you make it to the NBA, you're good, right? So those bench players that we're telling give them more playing time, that means they're good too. sometimes it's just opportunity. You know what I'm saying? Precious, Jericho Sims. I know a lot of people.
That's a good point.
Some people think he don't belong. He don't even belong in the league. But guess what? You put him in. You put. I ain't saying no name, Queen.
We ain't saying no name.
He saying no name. But you put him on. He did a pretty good job on Jokic. I mean, he didn't stop him from scoring, but he made him uncomfortable. You know, he made him uncomfortable to the point that nobody else could get involved in the offense. You know what I'm saying? So,
Right.
sometimes
I mean,
opportunity.
In terms of respecting the opponent, you know, Miles Bridges can play. Brandon Miller, you know, he's a rookie. Rookies are usually, you know, they're up and down throughout the course of a season. But if this is one of his on games, you know, he could be good. So the same thing for us, you know, Brunson, DiVincenzo, Ihart, Grimes got to be on it tonight, and McBride has been playing well in the bench. So we have enough if guys are on their game. If they're on their game and we're on our game, I still think we win.
Yeah.
You know, but we just need those guys to show up for us tonight. No doubt. I think what I'm looking for, I'm looking at Precious. I'm really looking at Precious just to get a sense of, you know, what he can give us in Randle's stead. I think rebounding wise, he could do that for us. Scoring wise, no. But if he can defend that position and he can rebound for us, that's good. You know, that's good. And the scoring will have to come from somewhere else. I know Ajay said he could probably get 10 points just off of putbacks. I don't know. He seems so small. Like when he get a putback, you don't even see him. Like when he get the offensive rebound, now he's trying to put it back. You don't even see him down there. You just see everybody else. So let's see. Anything else about today's game before we talk quickly about this week's game?
Protect the 3-point shot, because you know what I mean, they could get hot there. And you talked about Miller at the 2, you know, at what 6'10". You got LaMelo at 6'7" at the 1. You know what I mean. Those are 2 tall backcourt guys that could actually cause some problems. If they're on defensive.
LaMelo's out though.
Oh, okay. My bad. Pardon me.
Oh yeah, LaMelo's out. Yeah. Thank goodness. You know, thank goodness. You know,
Light it up.
He's out. All right. This week, I don't have my slides, but who? Oh, Tony, you may have the slide of the 3 teams we're playing this week. I think Utah. Yes. So we play Charlotte, Utah, Indiana, and the Lakers this week. We have 4 games. You know, Charlotte is 10-34. They've lost 3 straight. So they're going to be ready to get a win, right? At some point that they're going to get off the snide. Let's just hope it's not tonight. Indiana 24-23. The Pacers 27-20. They've won 3 straight. I'm not even sure if Halliburton even played in those games. And the Lakers are 24-19. They've lost 3 straight. Indiana is 6. The Lakers are 6. The Pacers, Utah is 10th in their conference. Charlotte is 13th. Go ahead.
No, I was gonna say the Lakers won last night though.
Oh, they did? Okay.
Was it last night? Yeah, they played
they
the
beat
Warriors.
the
Was it
Warriors.
last night or
Okay. So how come that wasn't because I looked on NBA today, NBA.com today.
was it Saturday? Delusional? Was that
But
Saturday?
even if it was Saturday, it still
I
wouldn't
think it's
be
Saturday, yeah. It was a double overtime game.
straight. Okay. All right. So they've won 1. We're 3-0 against Charlotte. We're 1-0 against the Lakers. 0-1 against Utah. 0-1 against the Pacers. Offensive rating: Charlotte is 28th. Utah is 15th. Indiana is 1st. The Lakers are 20th. Okay, I think the Knicks are 8th, 7th or 8th in offensive rating. Defensive rating: Charlotte is 30th. We should be able to get whatever we want, but again, we're without Randle, we're without OG. So now we're asking players who may not be used to being in these roles to go out and get it. But You know, it might be easier for them. This is the 30th ranked defense tonight. Utah 22nd ranked. Indiana is the 26th ranked, and the Lakers are the 14th ranked. The thing with Indiana, if you can control the pace, you have an opportunity. You gotta control the pace. You can't get into a running game with them. It's just not going to work. And as far as net rating, the Knicks have the best offense, defense, and net rating of all. No, excuse me, not Indiana. Of every other team except for Indiana. Net rating 30th, 21st, 12th, 18th. Your thoughts on these slate of games this week and your predictions?
I'll go first. I think it's gonna be a coach's nightmare, because how can you plan for these games with the team that we have? Like initially, you have Randall, you have Brunson, you kind of playing your defense around those two, but now you have people that's coming off the bench, so you really don't really know what to actually expect. How Tib is going to use them, what lineup, because Tib can play with the lineup a little bit. So I think it's going to be interesting. I want to say 3-1, but I think it's going to be 2-2 of these games, just because of the fact that they don't really know how to plan for us, but we don't know how our team is going to show up. These players are going to show up.
What's your prediction this week?
2-2.
2-2. Okay.
After this road game, we back home for the rest.
Yes.
All right. If we win tonight, I'm going 4-0.
All right. All right.
I love the optimism right there.
Because tonight is the adjustment period. You know what I mean? And tonight is the one where, you know, we got the most guys out. I don't foresee OG missing more than just tonight's game right now. Yeah, so that's my logic. Tonight is the toughest adjustment part. You know what I mean? And then we get the next three are more meaningful, or especially the last two. That Pacers one is meaningful. They already beat us this year, right?
Yep.
Who's that? The Pacers? Yeah.
Yeah. You know what I mean? So we gotta get back there. And it's always lovely to beat the Lakers.
But that was a fake window. that was in between the trades. Like we didn't have.
We were shorthanded. Yeah, we were.
Yeah. That was a fake dub.
Delusional or Ajay, whichever one. Oh, yeah.
I of course I always think we're gonna win every game. So I am hoping for 4-0. There are two games I'm worried about: is Utah because of their size. Can you and the Lakers because of course size, and they have LeBron and AD.
Right. That's a great point.
So I think, like Tony, I think we can win all 4 games.
Damn.
Remember,
so I feel like
people show up for Broadway. Braun is going to play. AG is going to play.
yeah. So I definitely agree with that LA game. I think that LA game is a wrap. I think we'd take a L with that one. It's just strictly off of Braun and AD. And that size that they bring forth is definitely going to be trouble. That Indiana game for me is 50-50. If Halliburton plays, then I think we're in for a long night. If not, then I think we can take that. The only game I think is real issues is marketing. Marketing at that 4 is really going to put some pressure on us. So, but I think we go 2-2.
Well, delusional, right? Maybe Anthony Davis. There's a 50-50 chance he don't play.
That is true. That is true. That's true. But
that's exactly what I was going to say.
Though. I mean, if OG, because I know it's a back-to-back, so which is why I guess OG is not playing, because we play Tuesday, so that could be just precautionary. Let's just sit him out to give him some rest. So that could be something. So, but if we could get OG, then OG can match up with Braun, but still Braun at the end of the day.
Yeah.
And Brunson is due for a monster game against the Pacers. Like I know he ain't happy about his performance head to head with Halliburton. And you know what I mean, you could even go back into the summer with the Olympics, and Brunson started the Olympic run, Captain America. By the end of the Olympics, Halliburton was getting all the love. Brunson was getting set at the end of the game. So I think he takes it personal, and he finally gets his get back.
Yeah. I could see 3-1. I could see 2-2. I could see 1-3. But I'm gonna say
You can see 4-0 too, right?
and I could see 4-0 as well.
Okay.
Is yeah, you're right. It could go a lot of different ways this week, depending on who steps up for the Knicks. I'm gonna say the Knicks go 3-1. I'm gonna say the Knicks fall to Indiana. I think Indiana is a tough team to play in the regular season. I think in a 7-game series, that's different. Like a 7-game series where you can really double down on that offense and what they're trying to do. But in a regular season, so they're a really difficult team to beat, particularly if you're going to be shorthanded. So I say the Knicks go 3-1. If the Knicks go, somebody said this in the chat as well. If the Knicks go 1-3, are you jumping off the ledge?
No.
To make a trade or
No, just in terms of disappointment, because the Knicks fan base, like we could turn in a minute. We 11-2. I heard somebody was on the other show said this is the best team since 1973 when we won the championship. We go if we go 1-3 without Randle, say OG plays 2 of these games, I can see it going the other way as well.
Yeah.
Well, of course, Queen. I'm gonna speak for the fan base. We are riding this wave, so it's tough to kind of get out of this wave. It's like with the team that we had constructed, it's like we can literally beat any team that you bring forth. So that's still a mindset that we have. That's still a mindset that I have, even with next man up. Tibbs got everybody believing that we can, next person up and they could get the job done. So yeah, if we do go 1-3, and that 3 games coming from Jazz, Pacers, and Lakers, especially that Laker primetime night, we're gonna have a horrible weekend. Yes, definitely.
Hold up.
Tone, can you put us back at the in
But and Queen, that first game though, I think Tony or Delusional mentioned that first game, tonight's game, that's the adjustment game. It's very important. If we win tonight's game, you could see the adjustments, and then you could be like, if we blow them out, you're like, oh, okay, so we could go with that team. We could get production from these guys. So it's tonight's game, believe it or not, it's very important. It's a good team. It's a good game for us because of who the opponent is, but it's also very important.
And we on a 6-game win streak right now, right?
Yeah.
Man.
All right. We get these 4, we get to 10.
Tony, I was looking at that third spot, man. I was like, we was only 2 games behind Philly.
Yeah. But check this out. We need revenge on Utah. Utah spoiled out. I mean, we ended up with a successful road trip, but that was one of the teams we was banking on beating, right? And they beat us. And then we split the LA games, whatever. But you know what I mean? So we owe them payback, like I was saying. We owe Indiana payback as well. Yeah, the Lakers is the only ones that we beat them already. So they may be feeling some kind of way, but
no, Charlotte. We beat Charlotte 3 times, Tony. Charlotte's gonna
no.
And they lost 3 straight. So
I'm saying we owe Indiana, we owe Utah. You know what I mean? And then the Lakers, we beat them already, but we in the Garden. I think if we 3-0 in this stretch going into the Laker game, I think we get that for sure. You know what I mean? I think we riding high. We on a verge of a 10-game win streak. I think, yeah, for sure. Every win, I think, is just going to keep adding to the momentum. Put it like that. And this might be the toughest one for us, just because, like I said, it's the biggest adjustment. First game without Randle. Now OG's out. You know what I mean? But if we get over this, especially if it's convincingly, I think the confidence just skyrockets moving forward.
Yep.
Yeah, no doubt. It's already 7:02. Tip off is around 7:10. Ajay, Tony, BX Chris, Delusional, Nick Fan, everybody in the chat rocking with us despite the technical difficulties and all the sounds in the background. We really appreciate you, fam. Enjoy the game. I know Sim will have a post game tonight as usual, and hopefully there'll be a losers lounge. Come on, Knicks, we need this win. I might stay up late if we win.
Wait, I would love to have you on there. I would love to.
I might stay up late. I got a 1 hour clients in the morning, and then I could take a nap. So I might hop on.
All right.
Until next time, fam.
Salute.